Two. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, and actually, I'm today's host. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. Um, I decided to choose a film that packs a big punch, and it happens actually to be one of my favorite action films that are out there. I have several that I have quite a few favorites. So don't get me wrong, but this one was filmed in 2009, and it was directed by F. Felix is the F. Gary Gray, and this film is called Law Abiding Citizen. It um, stars Gerard Butler, Jamie Foxx, Leslie Bibb. Let's see, Colmini, Bruce McGill, Michael Irby, Gregory Itzen, Regina Hall, among many others. Uh, so let us see what IMDb says about the film. A frustrated man decides to take justice into his own hands after a plea bargain sets one of his family's killers free. So, the film was written by Kurt Wimmer. So let's go around the room. Oh, right now it's streaming on Netflix. For those who want to know where it might be streaming. So, let's go around the room and see our first impressions. I'm going to go with you, um, Boris. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes, it was the first time, and when you said we would be doing this movie, I got pretty excited actually because I must admit I generally really do like stories about people taking justice into their own hands. And yeah. And for the most part, this movie really didn't disappoint me. It was really good, really thrilling, really
There were quite a few
suspenseful.
spoodhouse.
Oh, hell yeah, some really deliciously good spoodhouse. Yeah, but I must admit, I wasn't quite happy about the way it ended, and not only because it's not in accordance with my personal preferences, but also because I felt it was a bit of a plot hole, but we will get into that. And when I looked it up and tried to find some explanations for some things that didn't make sense to me, I found out that the ending was actually changed, that the original ending was planned differently from how they ended up filming it. And it actually makes sense. I mean, after I read that, I could really understand why the ending I saw felt like something was off about it. Uh, but yeah, I wouldn't like to
Spoiler alert!
bash. What?
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, spoiler alert, although I won't spoil too much for now. But yeah, I don't want to bash this movie too much because, like I said, for the most part, it was really enjoyable. But if you have looked it up, if you are familiar with the fact that the ending was planned differently originally. I must say, I would have much preferred if they had gone with the original ending.
Ah, actually, no. I had actually not looked it up ahead of time. I
Whew.
guess you'll have to explain how it originally was supposed to go eventually down the road. But anyways, heading over to Tammy. I figure you're done for now. Um, Tammy, was this a first time watch for you?
No, you and I had basically, I believe, saw this at the same time because I remember we knew it was coming out or whatever, and we both said that looks really cool, you know.
Yep.
And, um, so I mean, I believe we saw it shortly after it came out because it was what one of was on the top of our list because we were really interested in it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Whew.
but yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was intense and his how smart he is and all the things he sets up and the stuff he does is just it's like wow, you know. And when you once it gets further along and you realize how far he's really gone and the things he's actually done, it's just like it's it's like kind of like mind boggling. It's like I don't I don't want to spoil anything, you know. So um, the biggest thing though about the movie is put yourself in his place. How far would you, if it was you, how far would you really go?
Well, probably not that far because I wouldn't have what it takes to pull the whole thing off.
Yeah, but if you could, you know, I mean, because David and I were saying that last night when we watched it, and it's like he goes, personally, if I could have done everything he did, I think I would have just stopped at the two that were responsible.
Well, yeah, actually, I agree with that. Maybe I would pull some strings not to get caught and things like that. Maybe I would find a way to put the system to public shame for failing to do real justice. But yeah, I wouldn't go killing innocent people.
Right. So yeah, I like I would have probably stopped, like I said, at the two that were responsible, even if I could have gone further. And I agree. I would have probably tried to um um embarrass, I mean, or whatever the judicial system for their failure in this situation. You know, instead of um innocent people dying. You know, but it does make it makes you think, and it is a very intense, you know.
Oh
So
yeah.
Right.
Okay, is that your first impression of this film so far?
yes,
Okay. And you're absolutely correct, my dear. We knew of this film around or of the same time, and we saw it around the same time. Time that I think we both picked it up around the same time too. Um, because if it was a movie we both were interested in, we were competitive about which owned which first. So, but in any case, we both ended up getting the film, and It has become a film that sometimes we put on replay in our house. So I'm kind of glad that we chose it because then I could watch it again. And oh my god, this movie was so good. And especially the first time you see it, it packs a big punch, and then you're like, no fucking way, at the end of the movie, like you're so totally um you're on the side of Clyde for the most part,
Yes.
you're hoping beyond ultimate hope that he does exactly what he says he does or says he's going to do, and then of course they flip the fucking switch, and it's like a fuck you to even the most justifiable viable uh of films, and then you actually hate the people in authority in here. So,
Right.
um, but it, I'm pretty sure it came at a time where people were really wanting to see movies where it puts law enforcement or even you know people in public figures, public faces. We don't exactly have a positive look at people in these positions, because they don't lead by example sometimes.
Uh,
What about you, Tammy? What do you think about people in law enforcement? Have they gotten a bad rep?
Some, you
And do
know,
you think that there are corrupt politicians, corrupt policemen, corrupt lawyers?
oh
Fuck
yeah.
yes.
Do you think that the system is broken?
I
Yes.
in some ways I think there's corruption in any job. Okay, it's just it's more in the limelight when it comes to police, politicians, and stuff. It's more recognized, but there's I think in any job out there, there's people that are corrupt. You know, it's just more brought to the attention because because it's in these jobs, it's expected that you are not. And these jobs are supposed to. You're supposed to do everything right. You're supposed to be squeaky clean, and you know, these are the jobs that it's very, very, very important that people are not corrupt. You know,
Hmm.
so when
Uh,
there, so when there is somebody that is corrupt, it draws attention. They always say all it takes is one bad apple. Okay, that's true. You could have a police department that has been, you know, for 20 years has been top notch and this and that, and has gotten like all the officers have been awarded and everything like that. And you got one guy that sits here. Oh, guess what? They found porn on that guy's computer. Now the whole sheriff's department, whole police department is going to be looked at because this sheriff has porn on his computer. You know, it's it doesn't take much to make a whole a whole department look bad. And because of these jobs. Now, I have some law background, and I do know, and I watch enough crime stuff, which drives David crazy. But I do know that you know sometimes, unfortunately, the way it goes is you let the little fish go to get the bigger fish. and that's how it goes. And
Yeah.
it's not. That's just the way that things go. Okay, you
Except
could
this wasn't the letting go of the little fish. This was using the big fish to put away the little fish.
but they didn't realize that.
No, they should have.
They didn't. They weren't. They weren't listening with everything they should have been listening with to realize that the big fish was the one they were giving the deal to. They thought it was the other way around. They thought that the guy that they were putting to death was the the worst out of the two, and
Mhm.
and that's what the whole problem was with this whole thing is because nobody was listening to Clyde that's not how it was. He said, I saw everything. I saw everything, and they used it against him that he had blacked out at one point. Okay, but before he blacked out, he saw everything, and then he kept saying it was this, and they would not listen to him. Okay, they took it upon themselves to listen to the wrong person,
Yep.
uh,
and even the guy that was getting fried said, I did this and I did this, but I did not kill anybody.
Yeah.
which in turn makes me wonder if Clyde was aware that rapper Taves was not the one who killed his wife and daughter. Then why did he change those chemicals to make his
Because he was still part of
execution?
it. He stood by and watched let it happen. He didn't he was the other guy's partner in crime, and I'll have to re-go over it when we go into to how this film began to begin with. But he was the other guy who showed up with the bad guy, and he allowed it to happen. He
Right. He
was
was still part of
Uh,
it.
he was still a part of the crime because he didn't lift a finger to stop it.
yeah, yeah, good point.
If you are there at a crime that is happening and you do nothing, and someone goes and tells on you that you did nothing, you actually did something against the law, or against, you know,
There's many
it's a
states that,
crime within itself. There's many states that have this where if you
yeah,
do nothing, that is just as bad as the
you were
criminal
there. Yes,
that's
you
doing
were
it.
there. There's people that had just been the getaway driver of a murder, and they are still held up for murder because they were there. They participated. They might not have been the one that pulled the trigger, but they were there.
Right.
You
And
can be a
there's
person on the sidelines who isn't even part of the crime and not lift a finger to help, and not open up your mouth and say something about it, if you do not do something, then you are a part of that crime, and you should be charged. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that if you are there at a crime, whether you are a criminal or just a victim or a part of even like across the street, but you're in view of it.
that's kind of stretching it, David. Okay,
It's not stretching
but
it.
it is kind of stretching it. Is you know, with the laws and stuff that are out there, basically is, you know, two guys go in. there's a driver and two guys go into a convenience store. They rob it. They kill the guy in the store, and everything. Okay, the guy that's in the car, that's the getaway driver, is held responsible because he was part of the crime. Even though he didn't pull the trigger, he was part of the crime because he drove the car. Okay, now you can't say that the guy that's walking to the convenience store to go get his coffee for the start of the day and sees the guys running out or running in and doesn't do anything. Okay, you can't hold him responsible. He has no idea what's going on. Okay, but the guy in the getaway car does, so he is held responsible.
I thought that anyone who was an eyewitness and didn't speak up about it could actually be charged with something.
No, because if you're just an eyewitness, you have no idea what's going on in the. They're they're holding anybody who has to do with the crime itself responsible.
Mm.
So
So I guess you don't really have to report a crime.
no, you do have to report a crime, and people, they can bring a witness in and ever say, well, why didn't you report it? Well, I didn't have a phone on me, or I was scared, or they had guns, or the da 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 da. Okay, so the ones that are being responsible, and see the guy that drove the getaway car is going to sit here and go, but I didn't shoot him. But you knew that they had guns and they went in there and you were part of the crime because you were the getaway driver. So you are a party to the crime, whether you pulled the trigger or not. Just like I don't, David knows I watch this stuff all the time.
Yep.
These people that do a murder for hire.
Heh.
Well, I didn't pull the trigger. No, but you orchestrated the crime. You were you are the reason that the crime happened. So, okay, there's plenty of times that I on the stuff that I watch all the time that the person who orchestrated the crime, the one that did the murder for hire, actually gets more jail time than the person that pulled the trigger.
Mhm.
And that's because the crime would not have happened if they would not have orchestrated the crime. So they're held
So
more responsible actually than the person who actually pulled the trigger.
so you can literally discuss killing someone with your friends, and when that friend goes out and kills that person, and they find out that you were part of that discussion,
Yep.
you can
Depending on
get
how
charged with a crime.
depending on how important you were in that discussion. You know, did you put did you pay for it? Did you set up the time? Did you provide the weapon? Did you tell them, hey, this person will be at this place at this time, or this time? Did you how far did you orchestrate this? Okay, so yeah, people who have done things like that, they sit here and they go to court and they go, well, I'm not the one who pulled the trigger. You may not have been the one that pulled the
No,
trigger,
but
but you're
you basically suggested for it to happen, and they went and did it.
right. So with that,
So
yep, they think that they're going to get off because they didn't actually do the crime, and that's not the way it works.
but anyways, let's get back to the movie, because we were talking about hypothetical situations here. So, um,
Not
so the film begins with a husband, a husband, a wife, and a little girl who. What are they exactly doing? Are they getting? They're getting something ready, right?
dinner.
The girl was
Dinner.
making or made a bracelet for the father.
That's right. So
the father and the daughter were making bracelets, jewelry, and stuff, and mom was getting dinner to going. And
okay,
mom called him for dinner, and and then somebody knocked at the door, and I think he said something like, "I thought you were making dinner. What are we having it delivered instead?" And that's when he wouldn't open the door. He was
yep.
joking, you know.
And comes two guys. Were they in masks?
Nope, they
I
weren't
Um,
masks.
no.
He just slammed him with a baseball bat right then and there, and then he hit him, knocked him down, yeah, right away, and rolled him over and duct taped him, and that's when she came screaming, and the little girl still was not in the room at the time that they were. And then the one guy, while the one guy was manhandling him, he was like grabbing things because they were supposed to be robbing the place, you know. And that's when the wifey comes in, and um, he grabs her. Now, he stabbed Clyde right away. It says, oh, the fate, that saying something about fate,
Yeah, can't fight fate.
right?
yeah,
That's that thing, that
that's
saying
what
that
they
keeps coming up.
say.
Yes. And then the wife comes in, and they knock her down. He knocks her down, and duct tapes her, and he even stabs her right away too. He stabs them both, and he's and the other guy is telling him, "Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, let's just
And
grab the
that's
stuff
when
out."
and right about when it looks like they're about to go, the little girl comes in.
Well, that's what little girl comes in. Well, dude's having his way with mommy.
Yep. And he's like, "That's okay. Little girls like me." And he walks towards her. And whatever happens, happens off screen.
Right.
So, um, would you have rather wanted to see the attacks more or not?
I think I think they showed enough, and I think by him saying, little girls like me, and he picks up the little girl after we just see what he was doing with the mommy, you get the idea. I don't think you need to see them.
Well,
I don't think you actually need to see him hurting a child.
one
And
thing
that's
that
actually
didn't.
one of the no nos that um that's one of like the huge no nos that you do in a movie. Don't kill a child on screen. You know.
Well, one thing that didn't make sense to me is that when the girl saw those two, she didn't even scream. She didn't look scared.
She looks scared to me.
She was scared to me, and I don't think she knew. She was basically, I think, in shock. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know who these guys were. They were hurting
Well,
their parents.
yeah, but when the guy picked her up, she didn't even scream. Isn't that a little strange?
What would you do?
A scream.
Are you sure?
95%.
Hmm. Well, I guess first of all, you have to be like 5 or 6 years old, and then and then walk in and see your mommy and daddy, and then you decide whether you scream or just stay there in shock.
Okay, I don't know, but I don't know. It felt strange to me that she didn't show too much of an outward emotional reaction, not even when the guy picked her up.
She's 5, 6, 7 years old. She's just seen her parents get attacked, and right before that, it was kind of a loving moment with her father. I'm sure she was shocked. So, uh, I'm thinking she didn't know what the fuck to do. Did she even know how to scream since she had such a loving family? You know, at that age, a child is still learning everything. So it's still a precocious age, and you hope to that you want to protect them from any kind of violence like this. But she wasn't, I don't think, given a chance to scream, and whatever else happened off screen. And one thing you don't do as a filmmaker, and you try not to do, is kill a kid on screen. So, which is why, okay, which is why Eli Roth's newest movie, Ice Cream Man, is getting so much attention lately. Supposedly, it's filmed with with a bunch of kids who are killing people.
Oh, actually, funnily enough, I was with my friends yesterday and they told me about that movie and they had me play the trailer and they said we should watch it. And actually, that movie looks pretty much fun.
It does look like a lot of fun, but there are people who are not liking it because of the simple fact that they don't want to see kids killing people. You know, so
What's it
but
called?
it's called Ice Cream Man. It's a remake of another film with Clint Howard.
Well, actually, truth be told, I don't think it would be a bad movie about children starting a revolution against the adult system.
But
Well, come on. Children of the Corn is kids killing people.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in any case,
I think that was one of the very first movies out there that actually portrayed children.
well, I would say Children of the Damned and Village of the Damned. The originals
Yeah.
were some of the first.
Ooh. Well, speaking of movies about children killing people, we have Case 39, The Orphan, kind of, The Good Son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
just to name a few.
Well,
Oh,
I was
and
looking at
I
it.
think there's another one called The Other.
I was looking at it as a group of children because you
Yeah,
sounds like this. It
a
sounds like
group.
right. It sounds like this movie you're talking about is a bunch of kids. Okay, so yes, Children of the Corn is a group of kids. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough talk about that movie. I was the only reason why I brought it up is because you've got a kid involved, and one of the number one knows that is still part of movie making is this is one of the things that you don't do. You don't kill a kid on screen. So they followed that rule. I mean, some directors do tend to skate the boundary. This one did not.
Well, Uh, on one hand, I don't think it's a bad choice that they didn't show the kid getting raped or killed on screen, but on the other hand, maybe it wouldn't have been bad if we had gotten a longer sequence of a close up on Clyde's face as he was watching what they were doing. And if we saw his face and the noises of what they and heard noises of what was being done to his wife and child to put more emphasis on his emotional experience of
Well,
witnessing what they did.
Well, we did get that until he passed out.
Ah,
I mean, he was right
yeah.
in there. He could hear. You saw his eyes as they went to go grab the daughter, as he went to go grab his daughter, and then he blacked out. You know,
Yep. So
he knew that he knew what was all going on. He couldn't turn. You know, he saw as much as he could see of what was going on with his wife until he couldn't turn over or anything to see it. You know, but then when dude said that, I like little girls, and you see him walking towards the daughter. You saw his eyes go that way, but he couldn't see. You know, and then he passed out. So
and
Yeah.
then of course it cuts to what is it? Okay, so it goes to the lawyer who is talking with his boss about the fact that he's going to make cut a deal with the one guy to put the other guy away, and he thinks that this is the right thing to do. And he's like, okay, but you got to tell the husband.
you
And
go to
guess
shut.
what? The husband is here.
Damn it! Damn it!
I heard your phone. But in any
Who?
case,
Who?
her phone.
Yes, I shut it off.
But in any case, he goes and tells Clyde, and Clyde is basically telling him why. Why aren't you? Why would you do this? Why aren't you listening to me? Don't you know that that the other guy is worse,
Right.
or if not not just as bad? You know, and you're not even trying trying, and he's trying to tell him
And Clyde's
that
trying to
what
tell
he's
him that
doing is wrong.
the one that they're wanting to put to death is not the one that they should be. It should be the other way
Correct,
out.
correct. And he's trying to tell him it's what we can prove in court, basically. And he tried to tell him about his testimony. Is like, but you blacked out, and they would use that against you. It's it's all what they now. I get what he was saying. It's what he could prove in court, and there wasn't a whole lot in his testimony that he could prove beyond a reasonable doubt in order to help the case. You know, do does do either one of you think that the lawyer did everything that he could?
No, I think that um, Clyde's testimony before he passed out should have stood for a lot more than his lawyer was letting it stand for. You know,
You think that his testimony could have actually held up?
I think it could have, yes, because he, he was alert when he knows who bashed him in the head. Okay, when the door opened, he knows who put the duct tape on him. He knows who stabbed him. He knows what the guy said. You know, you can't whatever fate. Um, and he knows that he grabbed his wife. Yeah, he knows, and before he blacked out, he knows that he was the one walking to the daughter. He knows that the other guy was sitting here, and he could hear him. He may not have been able to see him, but he could hear him say, "Let's just go, let's just go." So he knows that he was alert for all of that and could tell who was where and who was doing what until he passed out. That should have stood for something more than
Okay.
it more than it did. So,
Well, that did not happen. So now we've got them going to a hearing where um the one lawyer and is in with there with the other lawyer, and you get the see what was the one guy the sleazy guy, what was his name? I was trying to
Uh,
Darby. Darby
Darby. Yeah.
it was his name. Okay, so Darby is he's pretty much preening. He's preening at the lawyer because he is definitely all thankful full that uh, the lawyer was on his side and everything, and he's a greasy ass dude too. He's the kind of crud that you want to be put away or whatnot, because after he signs everything thing, he comes out front and shakes his hand, is like, I'm glad you were on my side, and the lawyer is like, get your hands off of me. But Clyde is actually watching this transaction, this almost as if it was like the clinch and what set him off to start planning his revenge right then and there, So, um, so he signs the deal, shakes his hand, and then it goes to 10 years later. You've you've got um the wife has got some either breakfast or dinner or lunch that she's cooking, and she's trying to tell him about his daughter, because his daughter is now 10 years old, and she's going to be doing her first cello
recital.
uh, recital, and he's missed how many so far. We don't know how many, but it definitely appears to be quite a number. So um, he always seems to say, you know, I'll go to the next one, or whatnot. He said, we'll videotape it and we'll watch it later, baby. you know. So, and the whole reason why he misses his daughter's recital is the fact that he is going to the see
The
the one
execution.
criminal,
Yeah, the execution.
the execution of that second criminal, the one that he put away and and that Darby got a lighter sentence. So, and I do believe that there is a female coworker of the lawyers
Yeah,
that
he's got like a young protege, or she's basically, I think, his like paralegal, or maybe a little bit, maybe she's a little bit higher up than a paralegal, but she does most of the most of what a paralegal does, which is the investigating, preparing the briefs, She
and
does
he let her have the lead on a case
I,
earlier.
right. So
So this is her first viewing of someone getting the cyanide treatment, because we no longer hang people, uh, or even electrocute them in an
yeah, we
electric
don't fry
chair.
him anymore.
They don't fry them anymore. More. They don't hippity hop all the way down to old Sparky, if you know what I mean. um, they inject them with cyanide treatment, which apparently, as we find out, are done in three in this one in this particular film. I guess there's three solutions that end up going into the person to
They're
make
just
them dead.
supposed to fall. They're just supposed to fall asleep, and I've seen it in other films and stuff that there is the three things, you know. So, yeah, but yes, you're killing the person, but this is the more humane way of doing it, you know. But I,
Supposedly,
I'm
but
sorry that if you deserve to be put to death, but I think you should just be put to death. There shouldn't be anything nice about it. Whatever you did, you probably weren't nice about it. So why should your death be nice about it?
Uh, Sorry for disappearing.
that's okay. I didn't even realize it until I saw I heard the ding of you down below.
But
Oh,
yeah, what I totally I guess I believe that you know you say here you killed somebody. Why should we be nice about killing you?
It's I guess that kind of all goes to the whole thing of if we have any prisoners, why should they have rights? Or whatnot. Do you think that if we have someone in a jail for killing someone, do you think they should have rights?
I would say it depends on who was killed and why.
Well, our society has it that they do have certain rights and things like that. I mean, personally, I think that
If you did something personally, if you did something wrong, you don't have any rights whatsoever. But that's me.
personally the way I think about it is
You did
if
something wrong, you don't get a right to do anything.
no, I think anybody who kills somebody, that's it. Goodbye. You're done. I don't want to pay for you for the rest of your damn life.
I'm
I mean,
kind of the same way.
I mean,
Uh,
yes, they're okay. They have some people. Yes, they have proven some people have been wrongly convicted of things, and especially nowadays that we have all these nice things called DNA and everything else and all that. Okay, but when it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you did it, okay, there is no
the
way there is no way in a whatever that it could be anybody else but you. I think then that should be it. You're done.
That's
Because
why I don't get why some of these people think, oh, we should pay for we should have other people pay for these fuckers, um just so
I
that
get some
they
people
can suffer for years, you know.
I get some people think that they should live the rest of their lives to think about what they did and to suffer. Okay, if they really thought about what they did, they wouldn't have done it to begin with.
Right,
So what good is gonna make them? What good is it gonna be to let them sit there for the rest of their lives and think about it? If they thought about it, they if they really thought about it, they wouldn't have done it to begin with.
right.
So you think they're gonna really be sitting here going, "Oh my God, I should have done that. Now I'm sitting here for the rest of my life." Yeah, right.
But in any case, so did this cyanide death happen humanely?
No.
No,
So what happened? we have the prisoner that is supposed to be being put to death, and his body is starting to show veins. It's convulsing, and it's almost like you see the mercury go straight to his eyes,
And
and and boy, did this sucker cook.
From the inside out.
Yep.
and one
So
thing I would like to say, uh, before he was about to get killed, he openly said that he did this and that, but that he didn't kill anyone. So I think one major failure of the system here is that they didn't even pay much thought to what he said, didn't use that to as a reason to investigate further and try to get to the real truth.
once you get to this point, they don't fucking care.
Because
And
another guy, because the real bad guy out of the two testified against him. So they
Yep.
weren't going to listen to anything he said.
And once this guy got on death row, nobody listens to a goddamn thing you say. You're going to die. Sorry.
well, uh, okay, that makes sense, but I think they still should have thought about what he said, and even if they did kill him, they should have continued thinking about his words, and it should have pushed them to investigate further.
It was already at the point. Nobody was going to give a shit. I'm just telling you that. At this
And
point in
that's
time,
why,
this is the wrong time to come up with the idea to listen to what he's saying and try to stay a judge just on the
and,
hearsay of
and
this
that's
the
why,
innocence of this man.
and that's why
Nowadays, they
the
might have listened to him before it got to this point a little bit more because we have so many things out there with forensics is so advanced, and you got DNA, and you got you know they can just from like a hair off your head they can figure out this from forensics now,
Yeah.
uh, you know but back in the day when this particular happened, things weren't as advanced as they are nowadays. So they're going on what they had, and that was the whole thing about what the lawyer was saying to begin with, that this is all they had to work with. So unfortunately they believed the scuzzball out of the two because they only had this to work with.
Hmm. And as far as the lawyer was concerned, because the husband blacked out, his testimony was going to be thrown out.
Yeah, they weren't
That
going to what they weren't going to take it seriously because he passed out.
well,
Which
he wasn't going to take it seriously.
I would have argued that, though I said myself would have argued that, but what about all his testimony before he blacked out?
That's
right.
what Clyde was saying, but
Yeah,
he was basically shutting him down.
right. And that's what triggered Clyde. I think right there and there. That's what triggered him to begin with.
Yep.
So Clyde knew who was the bad one. You know.
I wish they would have filmed an alternative ending for this, where Clyde actually went to the extreme.
That was originally planned. Not sure if you said you didn't look it up, but yeah, I did.
I looked it up in the beginning here, and it said it was it was a possibility about being a possible twist while in rewrites. Um, but the studio went with this ending. So
From what I read, if it's true, the actor who played the lawyer, he was bitching about the original ending. Uh,
I didn't see that.
uh, from what I read, someone wrote that on Reddit, if that's true. They say that the original ending was planned, that Clyde does blow up the that rule, whatever it's called in English, where the mayor was and all those people who were supposed to get blown up near the end but didn't. That blowing up was supposed to happen, and Clyde was also going to bomb Nick's car, but Nick was going to survive only to see Clyde's car driving away.
Mm.
And if what they wrote on Reddit is true, that's how the movie was originally supposed to end. And truth be told, I would have much preferred that ending. And that's not even because I was inclined to side more with Clyde than with Nick, but also because I think if Clyde really was such a criminal genius, then it's a plot hole that he didn't see it coming, that Nick would find the explosive and relocate it to his cell and all that.
Okay,
Truth be told, what?
so now that we know about both endings, that's why I said spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, earlier.
Yes, yes.
We're reaching the end before we even get there. But anyways, let's go back backwards. Where okay, so we just got to the a little bit after the lawyer just told the husband, and we kind of talked a bit about the recital and that jazz. That then we talked about the death of the one prisoner that okay. So after the death, um, uh, obviously that was not how that death was supposed to happen. In fact, the warden doesn't even know how that happened and how it got switched to a specific something. So I guess oh um they found a bottle of potassium, was it potassium chloride?
It
They
was
did
something.
mention something about that.
It was something that was switched, and on the bottle it said "Can't fight fate." So that made them think of Darby, which now they are looking up Darby and seeing where he's living and sending cops to the house. We now we're at Darby's place. Darby wakes up. There's a half naked chick on a mattress somewhere where he gets a phone call and the person on the telephone tells him to run or basically run and look out the window. You're about to be arrested. You know. So he has him run across a couple of buildings and into a parking lot where there is a parked police vehicle. and supposedly uh, an officer was there sleeping in the car. Well, he pulls the gun on the officer, makes him drive, and they drive away from everything, and he pulls him off to the side of the road once they're away from everything, and he pretty much the officer pretty much tells him, "Hey, you should remember me."
Yeah.
And he tries to shoot at him and realizes that he is the uh, guy which uh, he had killed the wife and daughter of him, and evidently there was some kind of poison that was on the gun. I think he said something equivalent to the poison of the pufferfish,
Correct.
um, which apparently makes him paralyzed,
But
but
he
he will
kill every.
definitely feel everything.
Yep.
And he
Yeah,
is
yeah.
about to feel everything. Well, he takes him back to apparently a property that he has, and he basically films what he's doing, and he, from what I understand, he actually decapitates him and uh, cuts all his limbs off um, on
Hell
camera.
yeah.
And not only that, but the film, while he's being arrested and everything, he has enough time to send a copy of the video of this torture to the lawyer's daughter, or to the lawyer's home address.
Oh, okay. I did have a little mixed feelings about that because the little girl really did nothing wrong and didn't deserve to get traumatized like that.
Uh, I have mixed feelings there too, but regardless, I think he was trying to send it to his wife. I don't think he entirely
Oh,
expected the daughter to like
oh,
put it in and watch it.
okay, actually, that makes sense. Maybe he didn't predict that.
No, I don't think he could predict everything that was going to happen. But regardless, um, so he um he
They realize
does ultimately,
is
they
behind.
do ultimately find a connection to him, or should I say do they find a connection to him?
Yes, and then they realize they come for Clyde, and Clyde totally strips down naked and waits for him to come busting in, and then he goes with them. You
Yep.
know.
And when they get him there, they actually have him clothed here, and they actually, the only thing that they said is when they took his bracelet from him, did he have a slight reaction? Um,
Uh, right.
but they don't have anything on him, so they need a confession from him.
And the lawyer even, um, away from the, with before the recording starts of them interrogating him, tells him straight out that he understands, and that he's a father now and everything, and he goes, but that being said, um, we have to we have to do this, and then that's when he went around the other side of the desk and turned the recorder on.
Yeah, that's some interesting dynamics. I mean, after such a conversation, how could we not be somewhat on Clyde's side throughout the whole movie?
Well, at
He is
least
on Clyde's side, but he is a lawyer, and he's got a he's got a reputation, and
he's
he's
got priorities.
yeah, and
Uh,
he's got a reputation of that he always it sounds like that he always wins.
Yeah, he always wins every case.
He always
uh,
a high conviction rate is what it says. So
Truth be told, the mere fact that people like Clyde, who simply take justice into their own hands, become criminals in the eyes of the law, it only proves that the law itself is a corruption of the real moral justice.
Um, well, his kind of justice is what we call frontier justice,
which is
kind of vigilante, uh,
Uh, yes,
which is someone who fights for justice outside of the law and thinks that they're above the law, and sometimes
yeah,
innocents get hurt in the line of fire.
they consider themselves not only judge, they consider themselves judge and jury, and that's it.
well, if they hadn't gone after Clyde after Darby's death, no one else would have gotten killed.
Well, yeah, if he'd have just gone after the bad guys, um, then they probably wouldn't have taken notice, but at least not too much. But he decided to go after the whole frickin' system. And I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him for being as mad as he was against the system because the system failed for him. You know.
Yes.
So that is why I'm somewhat behind him. Now, what were there any innocents killed
Well,
while he was going about? He. I'm not so sure he killed anyone that was innocent. Do you?
what about Nick's co-workers, uh, Sarah and all those others?
Well, Sarah was helping going after Clyde, and as far as he was concerned, anyone who didn't help him was the enemy. So,
Whew.
so anyone who didn't help Clyde in his situation,
Clyde was
you know,
basically going after anybody that had anything to do with the case to begin with, because he feels
correct.
like that they all failed him.
And that
So,
protege of the lawyers, why did he go after her?
um,
Uh,
I think because unfortunately, she was collateral damage. She was part of it. She was the investigator. He feels that
And
she
I,
was there on the original. She was there on the original case. So
oh
he
yeah, and that's right. He was telling them to do certain things, or else this would happen.
so
If it wasn't okay, so the first time, okay, so there are the things that he uh did admit to, and Wasn't it that he also ordered like a steak and
Well,
some asparagus? And,
first he ordered the bed, and he said then he would talk to him once he got his bed, and
okay,
then
I
yeah.
he got the
oh,
bed, and um then he
Now, was
then
this before or after he got into solitary?
before, and
Okay.
then he says then that's when they find after he gets the bed. It comes to their attention to that this one, I think it's the DA or whatever, is missing. And he said, "Well, if you want to find out what happened as far as that goes, I I need a nice meal." And
A steak, asparagus. Make sure
but
that
he gave him
it's
a time. He said it has to be delivered at 1 o'clock sharp. He had
yep.
specified that it had to be at 1 o'clock sharp. And
oh,
he said,
speaking of which, I didn't fully understand about the bed, the meal, and all those things he ordered. Why did he actually need those things in order to pull his whole plan off?
because he was playing with them.
Yeah, he was
Ah.
fucking with them.
He was trying to get them to do what he wanted. Okay, they wanted to find out what he knew about this DA, and in order to do that, you have to follow what I say. And they did not follow what he said. And if they would have followed what he said, the DA would have been found alive. But they did not follow what he said.
Right.
Correct.
And then
Um,
the reason that he killed his cellmate,
so that he could get moved to solitary,
solitary.
which is exactly where. What do we find out later?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
he had actually tunneled his way to every single cell in that jail to begin with.
I actually did feel a little bad about that cellmate. Like we didn't even, he didn't, he definitely did nothing wrong to Clyde, and we didn't even know why he was.
He threatened to beat his skull in.
He was joking.
Wait, to
I
be
know.
what?
He was just saying, if you don't give me some of that, I might be prone to beat your skull in. And he smiled, and then Clyde's like, "Oh, come over here and eat some," you know. And so
Ah, oh, I
the poor,
forgot that.
yeah, the
So
poor
the
cellmate was basically collateral damage. He had to do something extreme to get into solitary.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
and unfortunately
And
for that guy, that was it.
yep. Unfortunately, he was his meal ticket to getting to that one room that would allow him to leave the jail at any given point in time and do what he needed to do. Which, what he does are quite some spoodows.
oh hell yeah.
Because, um, if I remember correctly, first is he tells them to do a certain something by a specific another specific time, or else things will go boom.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And that's when they wait and wait and wait and wait in the police thing,
Yeah, they had
and
till 6 o'clock.
yes. And why did he need? What was he trying to get? Time 6 o'clock rolled around.
They were supposed to release him. All charges dropped because they couldn't prove anything.
So and they didn't.
Nope.
So
Right.
they walked out.
One thing though, before we go on, is what did you guys think of the first time that he goes in front of the judge when he's first um after he kills Dorsey, and
Oh,
they
that's after after what happens with the cars booming and Sarah getting killed.
no, it's before
Is
You
it?
mean
because
when he
because
insulted the judge?
that was his first court date because he had not confessed yet to anything,
Uh,
and they had arrested him, and the judge was asking him, so you're going to represent yourself, yes, and um and then they're saying, well, you shouldn't give him bail, and he brought up he cited something, and then the judge says, okay, well then I will grant bail, and they're saying no, you shouldn't, and then that's when he goes into this whole big spew. So you believe that I killed this guy, and you're trying to prove that I killed him, but you're gonna let me just walk out of here, you know? And he went into this
Brilliant.
whole big thing, and it was just like, oh my god! But he was right.
Yes,
He was right.
definitely.
He
Yeah.
definitely could have worded it a little bit better, but he was right. They were going. They 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 believe he is the one that killed this guy, Dorsey. Okay, but they're gonna let him walk out on bail. You know.
No, I don't. No, I don't think I will excuse you. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You were about to let me go. Are you kidding me? This is why we're here in the first place. You think I don't remember who you are, lady? I would tread carefully, Mr. Shelton. Well, how carefully should I tread? Because apparently I just killed two people, and you are about to let me walk right out that door. How misguided are you? I
Oh.
feed you a couple of bullshit legal presidents, and there you go. You jump on it like a bitch in heat, folks. You all hang out. I'm warning you, Mister Shelton. In the same little club, you will be held in contempt, and every day you let men and murderers back on the street, you're too busy treating the law. One more time. It like it's a fucking assembly line. One more time. Do you have an idea what justice is? You are now whatever happened to right and wrong in contempt of court. Whatever happened to right and wrong? Remove this man. Whatever happened to the people? Bail denied. Whatever happened to justice? Bail denied. And I bet you take it up the fucking ass, bitch. Bailiff.
Oh.
Hey, see you later, Nick.
I had to bring that up because that was really intense. That was good. And
Yes, hell yeah, I loved it.
until he got to the point where he was saying a few things he shouldn't be saying, he was right. That's
Oh,
unfortunately he was right.
oh,
Yeah.
yes. And he was also right about that judge being a sexually frustrated bitch.
But anyways,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're to the point where he's saying yes. They had till 6 o'clock to release him. All charges dropped because he said that they had nothing to hold him on because they had no proof that he did anything, and they didn't let him go at 6 o'clock.
correct. So they think that they can go home, and they go out into to the parking lot. They say their goodbyes to each other, and Sarah,
And
she gets inside her car, but then some of the cars that are there they start blowing up.
Spool down!
she can't get out of hers for it locked. It won't let her out. So there goes
Correct.
her car too. There goes her car too.
Yep. And then they're at her funeral. or they're actually at the officers' funerals who got blown up,
Yeah, multiple of them
or
got killed.
and actually, well, yeah, there's a little, but this is after they get talked to by the lady in charge.
Yes. And well,
The lady in charge basically yells at them, "Hey, why don't you guys have this under control?" And now I've got a media circus on my hands, and now I've got to get a conference in order, and I got to shut this man down pronto against the people. You know, how did you let this one slip by you? And
and
they're like,
while
he's
while
very,
she's
very smart.
while she's talking to him, her phone starts ringing, and the what's his name says, "I thought we can't have phones," because she yelled at him for his phone, and she goes, "Well, that's the difference of being a judge or something."
Uh huh.
Yeah.
And she picks up her, and I totally forgot about this one, you know. Um, and so I was like, this one kind of shocked me for the moment because I totally forgot about this one. But when she picked up
Yeah.
This
the
isn't the
phone, it
one.
come
This
true.
isn't that one. This isn't that one. This isn't the judge part because that's later.
Ah.
This is the black lady that's in charge of
Oh,
them. Because you get a meeting from her.
well, that's right. Then
Uh,
they go see the judge to limit his rights.
Correct, and she signs the paperwork to do that. But then she picks up her phone and she gets a bullet in her head,
Spudow!
and that fucking stuns both of them, and so I believe it's the judge's funeral and the funeral of the because now a ton of people have died. So they're all at this cemetery, and they're about to leave the cemetery in a line of like federal cars, right?
Right.
And what they don't know is that there's this little fucking military bazooka looking thing that has targeted them and is picking off the vehicles one by one. And the first one gets shot up as fuck. The next one gets blown up, and the one DA dude, he while they're at the funeral, he's talking to Nick, and he's like, "Do you ever feel like you were just asking for this, or what was it? Like uh, trying to think. It was not said that way. Let me see if I can find it in the quotes." Uh,
Something about making decisions.
let's see. Uh, uh, looking.
While you're
A lot of
looking,
things are in between Clyde and Nick. Jonah, okay. Okay. Jonas Cantrell. Yeah, you were saying, Tammy?
while you're looking it up, there also they go Nick and um his um I don't know that he works with or whatever. They go and meet with a guy who tells them a whole big background on Clyde.
Oh yeah.
And if Clyde wants something to happen, it'll happen, and you'll know. And how he and that he's a genius.
So here's that.
Hmm.
Tell us what we're dealing with. Shelton was a spy. Okay. Look, spies are a dime a dozen. I'm a spy. Clyde is a brain. He's a think tank type guy. His specialty was low impact kinetic operations. That's a hell of a fancy way to say that he kills people. We kill people. He figures out how to do it without ever being in the same room. It was his gift, and he was the best. One time we're tasking this tricky target. I mean, we're using cruise missiles and predators, and we even had a B 2 bomber flatten this guy's villa with J Dam. All right, we're burning up millions in ordnance, and we're getting nowhere with this guy. So we call Clyde and we ask him to solve our problem.
Oh
Clyde
yeah.
develops a Kevlar thread with a high tech ratchet made of carbon fiber. Put it put it in a necktie. 2 days later, Mrs. Bad Guy comes home, finds Mr. Bad Guy dead on the bathroom tile, choked to death. What I'm saying is, just assume that this guy can hear and see everything that you're doing, Nick Rice. No, we got him locked away, maximum security. He's in jail. It's because he wants to be in jail. He's a born tactician. Every move that he makes, it means something. That cellmate that he
Oh
killed, what, you think that was random? No, that's a pawn being moved off the board. If I were you,
yeah.
I'd be looking for the next piece. Anybody who had anything to do with that case, he's going to be coming after you. So, what are you saying? You saying we can't stop him? Walk into a cell and put a bullet in his head. Aside from that, no, you can't stop him. If Clyde wants you dead, you're dead. So,
Right.
but there's something that Joe Cantrell says. What what did we kind of ask for it or something like that? That
Did we bring this upon ourselves or something like that?
yeah. And Nick says you don't really believe that, do you? So, but in any case, he dies in that whole shootout with the little bazooka military small controlled tanker whatnot, and that's when we get the and I think that that's when we get them going to the to back to or not Nick. That's when we get Nick going back to the boss of his, and she's like, "I should fire you. I should literally let you go." And Nick's like, "I'll resign." Are you really sure you want to do that? So instead of firing him, she promotes him
To DA.
to DA, which kind of sets things in motion for him being able to control the whole thing, control the narrative and whatnot. So, but in any case,
So then he sends his family away
correct.
to protect him.
Effective immediately, and He basically is trying to. I think what he does is he takes a list of all the different places that Clyde actually owns, and then looks for one of the places that actually seems the most out of place, and that just so happens to be a storage facility that isn't too far from, guess what?
It's
The
next door to
prison.
the prison.
It's next door to the prison. So they go inside the place, and there's several vehicles that they recognize from being at certain scenes. But they also find,
Including that slick black Cadillac.
yep, which they lift, and underneath it all is an entranceway to uh long hallway away that they find out leads to a uh
Leads to the jail. He's like,
yeah, basically
they're
leads
like,
to the
they
jail, and
never,
the,
who tunnels into a jail?
yeah, and that was a first for them. And not only did it tunnel into the to each jail cell that was there, it there was a room that they found where it had a ton of like weapons and security cameras and bomb things
Different
and
disguises.
different disguises. In fact, they found paperwork for being a janitor at the city hall downtown, which is why they were able to follow that back to and get to the fourth floor in
Well,
city hall.
they're starting to realize that they were wrong about him, about thinking that he had an accomplice all this time, because he didn't. You know.
Right.
Well, yeah, that he was the one who was behind it all,
Well, nobody
and
was
it
paying attention to him. He was in solitary.
correct. And they found out that this led straight back to his cell. My thing is, how the fuck were they able to get back to his cell and lay in wait for him with the bomb? How the fuck were they able to do that? That is beyond me. I
Because
mean,
they had somebody what they okay they had somebody um that saw the van and radioed him that he's on the move.
uh,
So
s-
they
y-
knew that
y-
he
y-
was driving around in that van, and they were somebody was watching the van, and they just they didn't want them to go get him. They just wanted to know what he was doing. And
you
that
know
was
okay,
why the whole thing about relocating that explosive feels like something isn't quite right, because they changed the ending, and that's where it's felt the most.
well, does it make does it make sense to you, Tammy, that they leave the bomb in his cell to go off?
they figured that was the only way they were ever going to stop him.
But you know what else doesn't make sense? If Clyde was such a genius, then he would have predicted that they were going to find his property, and that they were going to find the whole thing he did, connecting his property to the solitary confinement room and all that. He realistically could have predicted it. To me, it doesn't make sense that he fell for what they did to him in the end.
Well, I don't think that Clyde realized how ingenious Nick actually was, and that Nick would actually pursue things to the point that he did, and that he would find it because it was very, very, very well hidden as to that he owned that property. Okay,
Huh.
it took a lot of investigation and a lot of checking this and checking that and rechecking this and rechecking that. You saw Nick with pages and pages and pages of stuff and marking this off and marking that off and marking this. It took a lot for him to figure out that he owned that property. It wasn't something that they came across overnight. And I
Huh.
don't think that Clyde thought that he would pursue it to that point and find it. Because Clyde seemed genuinely surprised when he got back in his cell and Nick was there.
Well, not only was he surprised that Nick was there, he was ultimately surprised that the bomb was also there.
Well, yeah.
When you saw the look on his face when you saw the bomb was there, that was a jaw dropping moment too.
Right, but the first one was when he came back in and Nick was there. He was genuinely surprised. I don't think he gave Nick the credit that he deserved. I think I think because of how Nick handled the case to begin with and did not investigate things the way he should have in the case to begin with, that he did not have the confidence in Nick that Nick would find out what he found out. I I don't think he really thought that he would continue to look and and to try and put two and two together. I think that he thought he would just go so far and that was it because he only went so far on the original case, right?
Right.
Okay. So why would he think that he's gonna sit here and put all these hours in and try and do
And
this
put
and
the
do that?
effort in to do it,
Right.
since he didn't put the effort into his case.
Correct.
And that's something that Nick actually told him. That's something I learned from you, you know?
Yep.
So, but at the end of the day, at the end of everything, do you think it was right that they killed Clyde off?
Uh, from their point of view, it makes sense that they saw no other way out, but truth be told, I'm not happy it ended that way.
Oh, it's definitely not a happy ending, that's for sure.
I don't think that they I don't think they had much of a choice because Nick, because Clyde proved that he was definitely one step ahead of them for the most part all along. And if they did not get one step ahead of him and take care of the situation, um, it wasn't going to end until Clyde wanted it to end, basically. So I don't think they really had. I don't think they had much of a choice except to do what the one guy said is walk up to him and put a bullet in his head. Okay,
Yeah,
so basically by doing it this way, they they turned the tables. They turned the tables on him, and that was that. It was gonna be. It was okay. It was going to be easier to explain this than to walk up to him and put a bullet in his head. Okay,
yeah,
because they could easily sit here and say they could show everything that he did. They could show the tunnels. They could show all the stuff he had down there. They could show all the bomb stuff he had down there and turn around and say it accidentally went off on him. And that's what happened. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So they could explain away that bomb going off there a lot easier than to walk up to him and put a bullet in his head.
Uh, on the other hand, though, if the bomb exploded in the prison building, didn't that also kill other prisoners?
I'm sure that they moved the other prisoners ahead of time.
Huh.
Yeah,
This
they
this
quite
looked this
possibly would have.
this looked like a very old part of the jail to begin with. It was just, and it was only the solitary um, confinement area that the bomb took out. So I'm sure they moved them to a different area. So
Yeah, we just didn't see that part, nor did it focus
and
on that
that's
part.
why it'll go along with what they're what they're saying too, because they will show that he had tunnels going to all the different cells in that solitary area and
Hmm.
everything, so they can say, look at what he did. He tunneled into this. He had this and this. Look at all the. There was all this bomb stuff. The bomb experts will come in and say, yeah, this and that. So, something, he made a mistake or whatever, and something went off or something triggered it, and that's why this happened. You know,
Yep.
they could have easily moved the other prisoners by saying, "Hey, there was a flood down there, or there was this, or there was that. We had to move everybody." But his particulars, we had we hadn't gotten to his cell to move him yet. We were moving all the inmates out of that area because of something. Yeah, we hadn't gotten to his cell yet. Okay, you know
Yep.
they
Yeah.
had there were so many opportunities for them to explain that explosion where and to get rid of him. That was the best way to basically get rid of him, short of just walking up and putting a bullet in his head.
Yep.
Interesting.
So now that we have pretty much gotten to the end of the film, um, shall we talk about production overall?
Oh,
Well, just one little note. I was a correctional officer. I do know that even at the place I worked at, there was more than one setup, more than one area that you had solitary confinement, and this is a very low security place because this is House of Corrections. This isn't an actual um, jail like this is. Okay, and
Yeah.
we had the old building had solitary confinement in it, and we also had a newer building that had solitary confinement in it. So I can tell you most definitely, if a place like that had more than one place that you could do solitary in, I know this place did.
oh,
So
interesting.
Okay. Um, is that your thought process on the production?
I think the production was actually really good. I mean, um, the the genius of Clyde is great, and the stuff, and about till about maybe halfway through, you actually really do think he has an accomplice, you know,
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
yes,
you're
yes.
then you start seeing things, and you start this and that, and but you know it makes you start thinking and start almost thinking like him about, okay, and then you just see little tidbits. It's like, oh, no, 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 maybe maybe he could have gotten out, maybe he could have done this, and how they went about it. I mean, yes, and then when they're doing the investigations and trying to figure out why he bought all these properties and what these properties have to do with and where they are, and putting the two and two together, and then finally figuring out that the one property is right next door to the jail, it was like ding, 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 ding. You know.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, I think the production was really good. Yes.
Okay. What about you, Boris? What did you think about the production overall?
I think the production was quite good, especially all the spun down moments, which you already know how much I like. The moment when the judge's head got blown off, that was a good jump scare, pretty well done, and all the explosions and stuff.
The judge's
One
head
thing
was a very good spit out because I didn't even remember that, and this isn't the first time I watched it.
Oh, yeah, it was so good, and hell, she deserved it uh, uh, for abusing her position when she said something like, "That's the perks of being a judge." I was like, "Oh fuck you! I hope you get killed." And poof.
Uh-huh.
And another interesting thing I'd like to point out during the shooting at the cemetery, there is this one moment when you see a car riddled with bullet holes, which made me think of how they shot at the car of, interestingly enough, Bonnie and Clyde in the 1930s. And since the guy's name in this movie was Clyde, I wonder if that brief moment of seeing a car with bullet holes, I wonder if that was a subtle reference to Bonnie and Clyde.
Ah,
So, uh, yeah. So yeah, all those moments were really well done, and yeah, for that reason, I really liked the production.
okay. And me myself, I love the production on this. Although I do wish, um, if there was an original storyline where Clyde actually won, I would have wanted to see that. I mean, you almost wonder if they could have pulled it off. I mean, there are movies that have gone that way and gone to the extreme. Like I know that Stephen King's The Dead Zone is one of those that went that way, where um you've got the lead character in that. He's someone who um touches people and sees a possible future, and when he sees the future of a politician and that he's going to bring about the end of the world, um, he does whatever he can to try to prevent it. So there are movies that do go that route. So, um, but in any case, I do wish we could have seen the possibility as an alternate ending, which they could have at the time filmed
Yes,
an alternate ending for this movie like that. But
oh,
the
yes, they
studios
should have.
at the time, Reddit is not always factual. Um, Unfortunately,
Mm,
a lot of it is conjecture and hearsay and theories, not fact or fiction, or not fact or whatnot. Unfortunately, but there are a lot of people who know a lot of good things. So if you did read about it on Reddit, it might be
mm,
just a theory
mm.
from a fan. So
Oh, huh.
It's not exactly like
Interesting.
Wikipedia, where it's a little bit
Uh,
more like fact.
okay, yeah, now I have found another thread on Reddit where that rumor is debunked, but now I'm not sure what's the real truth. I should look it up further.
But the fact that you found it as a possibility is a good thing. I mean, I what I found is that it was a rumor during the rewrites and re-edits of an earlier draft that it could have gone that way. I didn't
Well,
see
uh,
anything thing as far as Jamie Foxx putting up a fight about it, and that's why they changed it or whatnot. But you know,
well, honestly, I found the rumor believable because this ending, the way they did it, it really kind of felt forced to me, and some things didn't fully make sense.
mm. Oh,
Like, if that freaking explosive, they said it was going to explode in 30 seconds in that city hall, and yet they somehow relocated it to Clyde's solitary confinement room. Like, how?
well, I will say this: one of the lead detectives that was with Nick, his name was Cole Meany. Now he's been an actor on Star Trek from back when Star Trek was Next Generation, and so they could have beamed it over. Sorry, um,
Why?
but
Well,
in any
see,
case,
they had the bomb guy there. Now the bomb guy knew exactly how this was set up and knew everything that was going on about it and everything like that. And he's the one that said once once it was triggered. So he said it had a somebody had to call that phone. You know,
yeah,
okay, and that's what Clyde was going. That's what Clyde was going to do. He had the phone, and he was going to call it.
mm-hmm,
And Nick was telling him, trying to get him to stop calling it, to not call it. So
mm-hmm,
it was going to go off 30 seconds after the phone call was made.
yep,
So as long as they knew that he didn't make that phone call yet, which they knew he didn't, because Nick was in his cell, okay,
yeah,
and he wasn't back in the cell yet. So that's how they got it over there and got it into the cell because they were watching him in the van. So he
Hmm.
had to take he they watched him drive that van to that warehouse across the street from the cell from the jail. They watched him. So they knew that he had to get from there to there, and then he had to get all the way back in his cell, and that's when they figured that he would trigger it. But so they got back there first because they were watching the van and got it in the cell. That's how come it didn't go off because Nick hadn't triggered it yet. I
yeah.
mean,
Nick,
because
but
Clyde hadn't triggered
could
it yet.
they have gotten back there in enough time to get there ahead of time? That's the question.
We
You
don't
know,
know where. We don't know how far away the courthouse was away from the jail, but they were.
no, we don't. We can only speculate.
We can only speculate, but that's because we do know that Nick was being. I mean, that Clyde was being watched, so they knew where Clyde was.
Yeah,
So all they had to do was get back there and get that damn thing in the cell before Clyde got back, because he was being watched.
yeah,
And you saw Clyde was running through that tunnel when he got back. You know,
yeah.
He was running through the tunnel. He had to change his clothes. He had to take off the disguise and he was trying to hurry up and get back to that cell. And then when he got in the cell and he closed that door and Nick made him aware that he was there, that's why he looked totally shocked.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to production, I thought the production was really tight. Thought every place that they took Clyde to felt real. The situations felt real. The situations felt dangerous. The situations felt like he was funning with them. And when it was found out how elaborate his plan was, that was genius. So
Like
to
he
me,
told Nick,
Yes.
because Nick made a comment about it being revenge, and he looked at him and he goes, "I had 10 years to do revenge if I wanted to do revenge. I knew you left at 8 o'clock every morning to go to work, and your wife and your daughter left at this time for school, and your wife left at this time for work. I had 10 years if I wanted revenge."
so what
Right.
do you what do you think it was about entirely?
Exactly what
Uh,
he said it was. He wanted to prove how bad the system was.
right.
Let's see. There is a quote that I do want to find real fast before we go into music and favorite scenes. I think. Let's see. Not. Oh, here. I'm just getting started. I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking disease corrupt temple on your heads. It's gonna be biblical.
Oh, yeah.
So
Honestly, honestly, I think the ending would have been much better if he had succeeded.
mm, I guess we'll never know. But in any case, okay. So
Don't you think he succeeded somewhat? Don't you think some that they're gonna from this day forward that they're gonna look at the cases differently and they're gonna look at things a lot differently than they're gonna refer to this case. Look what happened in this case. Uh, you know, this all happened
Maybe.
because we this all happened because we screwed up on that case.
all right.
But wouldn't it have been interesting if he actually had blown up that city hall with the mayor and everyone inside?
Okay, so this is a very small soundtrack. It's maybe got like 6 songs, 5 songs actually. I think. It's got "Mr. Tambourine Man" by Bob Dylan, "Bloodline" by Slayer, "Eminence Front" by The Who,
By the
"Engine
who?
Number 9" by by Deftones, and "Sin's a Good Man's Brother" by Grand Funk Railroad. But the person that actually did the actual music is let me pull it up here. Casts. Oh, let's see where writer cast must be after the cast. Um, Producers, composer Brian Tyler is the composer behind the music. Now he's done stuff for Avengers: Age of Ultron, Fast X, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and for some of the series of Yellowstone. which I still have to somewhat get into. But he's done the original theme for Ready or Not 2, and I think
Oh,
Ready or Not, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, the movie,
interesting.
Scream, Escape Room, Tournament of Champions, Those Who Wish Me Dead. He was a conductor and score mixer. He was an arranger of the new Hawaii Five O theme for the Hawaii Five O series that you and I watched, Tammy.
Yeah.
He was a composer for the Universal theme of the remake of Cats. Uh, Composer behind the Universal theme for the last Black version of Black Christmas. Then we got the last Charlie's Angels that came out. He conducted the orchestra and mixed score for that. He was the conductor and orchestrator and score mixer for Rambo: Last Blood, and so on and forth. I mean,
Okay.
he's been part of a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow, he was a part of
Hoot.
the.
Okay. We don't need
Okay,
to know everyone.
sorry, I just keep on seeing stuff. So, oh, and the Grinch, the one that you like. But anyways, let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
Uh, 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 are you still here?
Yep, we're
Yeah.
still here.
Uh,
Yep.
okay, I'm sorry, I have a phone call I need to attend, but my favorite character is Clyde. My favorite, uh, my favorite scene, my favorite scene. Who I liked the moment when the judge's head got blown off. I liked the shooting at the cemetery. Which other explosions were there? Those were my favorite scenes.
Oh, and when he sat and got exploded himself while he was looking at his daddy bracelet.
Uh, uh, you mean when Clyde died?
Yep.
I didn't like that.
I liked how the fire was going around him. Let's just put it that way. How it was filmed. For
Yeah.
some reason. For some reason, that looked cool.
Okay, I'm really sorry for having to cut this short. I have a really urgent phone
That's
call,
fine.
and
Okay.
We'll
I
Make
see
sure
will.
you
you
get
I
next
back to
will
week.
us. Make sure you get
let.
back to us about your movie.
Yep.
Yes, I will definitely.
Okay. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Or actually, see
See
you next
you.
week.
See you.
Yep.
All
Bye.
right. So
Bye.
what about you, Tammy? Bye.
Um, I guess Clyde would be my favorite. I just loved his ingenious, and I did like what he stood for. He may not have gone about it the best way. Okay, obviously, but I do understand where he was coming from, and I understand his um how he felt about the things that were wrong in the system.
Yeah.
Well, favorite scenes, um, I think that I do like the cemetery thing because that little robot man was just a genius, and that nobody realized it was there. They had all these secret guys, and they had the motor brigade and everybody watching everything, and they didn't see this thing.
Yeah.
Nobody realized it was there.
Right.
And then by the time Nick saw it, it was too late.
Correct.
So I'd have to say that's I that has that's basically my favorite one because it just you know and when they found out they when they found the tunnel and they followed it all the way into the jail and they saw all his stuff and all the things and it all of a sudden it all came to a head. They realized that he was the one behind everything and that he's been doing everything.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's my other favorite part because it just was like, oh my god,
Right. So my favorite character is definitely Clyde, and I as well stand behind a lot of his beliefs. I do think that someone should pull the plug of the whole diseased thing. Not, I'm not saying for any of you to try to do what Clyde did because you'll probably end up like him. But I'm saying that I fully believe that the system is corrupt. You know that it doesn't always work. It doesn't. There are loopholes in the system, and people are getting away with things left and right. You know.
yep,
So that being bear in mind, I was rooting for Clyde almost the entire way. In fact, I fully believe what they did to him was wrong. But I also think that there was some innocence that Clyde ended up killing along the way. But um he had a set of rules and they weren't following them, so in a sense they were just collateral damage, you know.
right,
um in a sense you could almost say that they were justifiable in his mind, the way his way of things was working. I mean, if they had just followed everything to the letter of what he told them, none of them would have been killed the way that they were. You know, and
yeah,
if they would have just let him out and let him go, because I believe when he expected them to let him go, that he would have disappeared and gone on his merry way. You
I think
know.
so. I think he would have kept his word. If at 6 a.m. you by 6 p.m. you let me out and you drop all charges, I think that would have been the last you would have heard from him.
Yep. But they decided that they wanted to control the narrative.
They wanted to pursue him. They wanted to pursue him to the letter of the law, but they didn't pursue his case to the letter of the law.
Correct. So, do two wrongs make a right at the end of the day? You know.
Right.
But I enjoy. I think that there are a lot of little favorites for me. Like I enjoy the look on Darby's face when he stunned his ass with the gun, and he told him that he was going to feel everything. He just had that look of horror dawning on him, and
Yep.
then when he was laying there on the table and he was describing what he was going to do to him and everything. And I don't think that the guy that was on death row deserved the way that he died though. I think Clyde should have. I don't know. And maybe that was just his way of fucking with them too. Um,
I think the guy on that was on death row deserved prison time, but I don't think he deserved to die because he was not the one. You know, he was basically a patsy in the whole thing, even from the
well,
very beginning when they did the home invasion. You could see that Darby was the one that was in control. You
yeah,
could tell he was the mastermind. You could tell he was the aggressor. You could tell
yeah,
the other guy was just basically along for the ride in a way.
yeah.
Know? And so I felt bad for him because he got the at well at the
He got the
moment.
yeah. He basically became the patsy.
Yep.
The one who took his place, and he got his ticket out of jail card. So, but also I also when the judge gets shot, still jump. That is a jump scare. It's unexpected when you see it again and again over and
You
over.
forgot about it too.
I did.
Oh
So
yeah.
and then of course the damn reveal of everything. It's like that moment where you real where you realize, like in the movie The Black Phone,
Yeah.
when the lair is like across the street from the other one,
Right.
um, and whatnot, or realize the first moment, the first moment you uh realize that Billy the kid in Silence of the Lambs where his lair is, and
You know, even seeing it again, you still are awed by the lair at the end
oh yeah, it's elaborate.
when they discover that you're still in awe of that, even though this was not the first our first watch. But
Oh yeah,
when
there
they
was a
first
lot of detail that went into it.
yeah, when they first discover that and they're going through that tunnel and they're finding this and they're realizing this is, you're still in
How
awe.
would you like to be the both the lawyer and the detective discovering all this? What would you do?
I would just probably be looking at it like they were like, oh my god.
I would be like, damn, this guy knew what he was doing.
And he
So,
did have 10 years to do it.
yep. So, but anyways, on that note, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen have enjoyed our discussion on this film. There are definitely other moments in this film that I enjoy, and I think that's why it's gone to the top of like my favorites lists, because it was an elaborate movie. And I kind of wish that Clyde had actually gotten to do what he wanted to do in the end. You kind of rooting for him all the way. The only criminal well, one of the criminals that dies that you actually think should have never did that. Should have gotten away scot free. But in any case, like, share, and subscribe. We hope that you go out and see the movie. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the movie, what you thought of our discussion. And we will see you next time here on Delusions of Grandeur. Everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.